Hi, this is Megala, and today I'm going to discuss about this word problem. So, the next session, this is actually a mixture of all different kinds of problem in mathematics or aptitude. So here, what you're going to see is like how what is this word problem and how you're going to word problem is like as a sentence. The problem will be in the form of a sentence instead of giving you a direct numbers. Like if we say 2 plus 3 equal to 5, it will not be given in that way. You'll be given in such a way that you have to frame this as a mathematical equation and then you have to solve it. So it is a general thing, like you will definitely come across this kind of problems and it will be of different type, miscellaneous. We can't say that this is from a particular topic. So we may have a time and work problem, or time and distance problem, or age problem, or anything, or even the numbers. So that we are going to see now. Okay, so we'll be doing at least some 10 problems today this class. Let me share the screen now. Yes, so this is what we are going to solve. So word problems, as I said, of different types, and the identities which you are going to see in the last, the algebraic identities. So that we'll see that later. Now the word problem, will start with this problem. And a real estate agent received at 6%, a real estate agent received a 6% commission on the selling price of a house. If his commission was $8,880. What was the selling price of the house? So how to solve this? This is a given sentence, which I said we had to convert this as an equation and then solve it. So the commission he's getting, what is the commission he's getting? He's getting, I'll use this blue color. The commission, whatever he is getting now is, you can say, is going to be 6%. 6% of what? So it is given that he is getting a commission which is equal to 6% commission on the selling price of a house. So this is going to be 6% of the selling price of a house, whatever the selling price you have. This is what is the equation which you're forming it. Now you can calculate. So the commission here is given as 6%. That 6%, when I say percent by 100, of is a multiplication, and the selling price is SP. So what is given here is if his commission is 8,800, so replace it. This is going to be 8,880. That is equal to 6 by 100 into selling price. And what you are supposed to find out, you are asked to find the selling price. So you bring this to the other side. This is going to be 8,880 into 100 whole divided by 6, and find out what is it. So this will go one time, then balance is 28, it will go four times, 24 balance is 48, 48 will go eight times, and followed by uh, three zeros. Eight, this, if this is like you're getting this as 48, that's 50, 48 by 6 is again 8, the balance is 1 zero is left out here, and there are two more zeros, therefore this is what the answer is. So this is going to be your selling price. Okay, so it's quite simple. So you're seeing that once you frame this equation, and then after that solving is not a big issue, but the framing of the equation is very important. So normally this is one thing which you have to know, that whenever this is what I have discussed even in the percentage profit and loss. Whenever this is comes, always you have to replace by equal to. When percentage comes, you have to divide by 100. Of is a statement which you're going to multiply. So whenever off comes, you have to replace with multiplication. And the what, the question mark, whatever comes, that you have to replace into some variable which you are supposed to find, or x or y or z. So this is multiplication, this is x, right? So this is something which you have to remember always and try to convert accordingly, right? Here off it's given, so therefore selling price I'm taking as multiplication, the commission on the selling price of a house. Okay, so now I'll go to the next problem. An electric motor makes 3,000 revolutions per minute. How many degrees does it rotate in 1 second? So this is the question asked. So we'll try to solve this one. So how to solve this? We'll write the details, whatever is given here. So the given detail is like 3,000. So what is this 3,000? Electric motor makes 3,000 revolutions per minute. That is what is given, per minute. How many degrees does it rotate in 1 second? So it is given that 3000 revolutions per minute. So if you have to see per second what you're supposed to do, the minutes you're converting, per means division. So you have this 3000 per minute means you're dividing by minute. This is a revolution per minute by minute. And now we are going to convert this minute into seconds by multiplying into 60. So when you can say this is per second, right? So this is how much? This is going to be 50. So we can say it is going to make 50 revolutions per second. And what is asked here, how many degrees does it rotate in 1 second? So per second, it is going to make 50 revolutions. And you know that one revolution, if I say this is nothing but 360 degree. Okay. So when I say 50 revolutions, it's going to be 50 into 360 degree. The overall, they're asking for the number of degrees it is going to rotate. So I'm taking the number of revolutions into the total degree per one revolution is 360. This is what is your answer. So how to do it in a simple way? What you can do is this 50 can be written as 100 by 2 into 360. So 336 by 2 is nothing but 18. You have two zeros here, one more zero here. So this is 80,000. This is the answer. Okay. So I hope so. This is easier. The revolution part is there. So don't get confused with this. And now the division, sometimes people make mistake of taking multiplication instead of division, revolution per minute. So that has to come down and converting this minute into seconds by multiplying this into 60. If at all you have to convert this minute into hours, you have to divide by 60. So when you come do this division by 60, that will go up. So that will be 3000 into 60. Next problem. The area of a rectangular field is equal to 300 square meters. Its perimeter is equal to 70 meters, and find the length and width. So we are going to have this rectangle. So in this rectangle, we are going to take length and width, and whatever the data are given, just fill up that. So this is length and width. So here what we do is, given that the area is 300, so what is area formula? The area is nothing but area of a rectangle is length into breadth, which is equal to 300. Okay. And if the perimeter is given as 70 meters. So when I say perimeter, it is nothing but all the sides to be added. So it's like 2L and 2B. So therefore 2 times of L plus B equals 70. Or we can say L plus B equals 35 because this 2 will come here. Okay, so you can do trial and error. That will be much easier. Otherwise, you can solve by forming an equation. So first I'll do by trial and error, and then we can go for this. Okay, then in that case, I will try directly with the equation. So you know that L into B is 300. So I can write this as L equals 300 by B. And substitute that L here. So L equals 300 by B plus B equals 35. Solve this. So 300 multiply throughout into B plus B square equals 35B. So when you bring this to the other side, it becomes an equation, quadratic equation. So this is B square minus 35B plus 300 equal to 0. And this in the quadratic equation, we have seen like how to solve this one. This 300, you take it and the product of these two should be 300. This term is nothing but product of two terms, and this 35 is like uh, the sum of the two terms. So we have to consider it because it is plus. So this 35 should be sum of the two factors, whatever you're going to take now. So we can consider different factors. For example, you can take 30 and 10, but 30 plus 10 is 40, whereas here it is only 35. So accordingly, you have to see what value will match here. So I can consider this in terms of some other number. So maybe we can go for 20 and 15 because 20 and 15 gives you 35. I think this is going to match here. So this is 20 and 15. So we are going to take the two terms as 20 and 15 and then write here. B again equal to 0. And these two terms should come here, 20 and 15. And here the thing is, whatever the sign you have, because it is sum of the two terms, so therefore you should have the same sign here. Because it is negative, I had to put negative here. So B is equal to 20, or it can be 15. So if one of them is 20, the other should be 15. So we can say that smaller one breadth is smaller. So we can say this is 15 and this side is 20. That's the answer. Thank you. Next one. If a tire rotates at 400 revolutions per minute and the car is traveling 72 kilometers per hour, what is the circumference of the tire? So again, you have to consider here, like there are rotates 400 revolutions. So first, let me write this. 400 revolutions is going to make, right? And then if a tire rotates 400 per minute, okay, this is also given. It's going to go for the 400 revolutions per minute. When the car is traveling 72 kilometers per hour, what is the circumference of the tire? So 72 kilometers is going to travel per hour, 72 kilometers per hour. But here it is given in terms of minutes. So I need to convert this in terms of minutes. So what I will do is I'll take, like in the previous problem, what we did. Again, I'm going to do the same thing here. This hours I'm going to convert into minutes by just dividing by 60. So when you divide by 60, you get this as like 72 by 6 is 12, and one more zeros here. Therefore, it's 1.2 kilometers per minute. So this is the speed. So per minute, it is going to travel 1.2 kilometers, or I can say this in terms of meters. I can consider this as 1,200, because in kilometers into meters is like multiplying into 1,000. There is a decimal point here, therefore it's going to be 1,200. It is going to cover a distance of 1,200 in 1 minute, as per this what we have found out. And 400 revolutions per minute, that means the distance when it is going to travel around 1,200 meters, it is going to make how many revolutions? Is going to be around 400 revolutions. Okay, so for one revolution it is going to take like 1,200 is the total distance by 400 is going to be 3. So it's going to cover around 3 meters for one revolution. And the one revolution is nothing but one complete circle, which is nothing but the circumference, or I can say 2 pi r, or I can say circumference of the circle. So this entire circumference is going to cover it as 3 meters. So the answer is 3 meters. I hope so this is clear. I'll repeat again. This 1,200 is the distance which is going to travel in 1 minute as per the speed given here. We are just converting that. So divide by 60 we are doing because it is given in terms of hours, and I'm going to convert that into minutes by dividing the 60, and we are getting 1.2 kilometers per minute, or I can say 1,200 meters in 1 minute. So this is meters again in minute. Okay. So this 1,200 meters it is going to cover in 1 minute. And also it is said that it is going to make 400 revolutions per minute. So that means in 1 minute, it is going to cover 1,200 meters, and it is going to make 400 revolutions. So one revolution, it is nothing but 1,200 by 400 will give you one revolution, and that is going to give you how many distance? 3 meters. So 3 meters is going to make one revolution. So 400 revolutions when it makes is going to cover 1,200 meters. So this is what is the is coverage in one revolution, and one revolution is nothing but one full circle rotation. That is nothing but your circumference, or equal to 2 pi r. So the answer is 3 meters. Next. In a shop, the cost of 4 shirts, 4 pairs of trousers, and 2 hats is $560. The cost of 9 shirts, 9 pairs of trousers, and 6 hats is $1,290. What is the cost of 1 shirt, 1 pair of trousers, and 1 hat? So they're asking you to find the total cost of this. So we need to see for the combination of this and then find out this. So let me write this sentence first conversion of this. Let me consider 1 shirt as S. So therefore 4S. And because 4 shirts and 4 trousers, so 4T. And 2 pairs of hats, so 2H is going to cost $560. The same thing, the second sentence, when you see this cost of 9 shirts, so 9s plus the 9 trousers, 9t plus 6 hats is going to cost 1290, right? So you got these two equations. Of course, for the three variables, you need three equations to solve. When you have two equations and three variables, sometimes it is little tough. That's the reason they have given some kind of a combination. So try to find out how to get these combinations. So one thing you can notice, these two values seems to be same. So I can also consider this as a single variable, and this is another variable. So in order to cancel one of this, I have to take either this or this multiply. I think this will be easier for me because I don't have to change this equation. I just have to multiply the first equation to 3 so that this 2 will get the same value. So what I do is I multiply this into 3 to get this equation. This equation I'm writing it here. So when you multiply that into 3, this is going to be 12s plus, and this is again 12t plus, this is 6 because 2 into 3, 6h, and again multiplying this into 3. So what is this? 300, 3 6 18, 1 balance, 3 5 15 plus 1 16. And now this value seems to be bigger and this is smaller. So what I do is subtract this from this. This from this. Okay. So when I subtract this, 12 minus 9 is 3s. 12 minus 9 again is 3t. And this will get cancelled because we are subtracting this. And I'm sorry, this is t. Here, when you subtract 0, 8 minus 9, so you have to borrow 1. 18 minus 9 is 9. 5 minus 2 is 3. So you know that 3s plus 3t equal 390. Therefore, s plus uh, s plus t is going to be divided by 3. Bring this 3 this side, is going to be 130, right? So you know that s plus 3 is equal to 130, and in first equation we can just take this. So this is like 40. So multiply this into 4, then this will be 4s plus 4t equals 4 times of this is 520. And here you can replace this value. So 4s plus 40, when you take it as 520, this plus 2h is equal to 60. Therefore, this is going to be 2 into 520. The balance is 40. So 40 will be like 20. So 520, here when you have this h as 20, 2 into 20, 40 gives you 560. Therefore, what is h value? So from this, you can say the h value is nothing but 20. And now you're asked to find out one shirt, one this. So you know that the value of one shirt and one trouser is 130. From this equation, we know that. And one hat is 20. One hat is 20. So when you add all the three, 1s plus 1t plus 1 hat, it is nothing but 130 plus 20 is 150. Then that's the answer. Thank you. The next. 4 children have 4 toys. Let me write down the 4 children: A, B, C, and D. The first child has 1/10 of the total toys. Of the toys. Okay, that is total toys you're taking. So let me consider the total as maybe some variable. Okay, we'll take it as X. And the 1/10 is nothing but X by 10. The first, let the total be X. I'm just considering the total is equal to X. Therefore, this is going to be X by 10. How about the B1? B is given as the second child has 12 more toys than the first one. So it's going to be X by 10, the first plus 12 more. Whatever he had, he's going to have 12 more than that. The third child has one more of what the first child has. So it's going to be X by 10 plus 1. And the last one. Fourth child has double the third child. So third child is this. So it's going to be double of that is nothing but 2 times of X by 10 plus 1. Now you have all this, and what is given here is how many toys are there? Totally, There is nothing given about the total, but we'll consider. Suppose you add all this, is going to be your total. And total already we have taken as x. So equate this to x. You have one variable in that throughout the equation. Therefore, it's easy to solve. Let us solve this. So what we'll do is this is x by 10 plus x by 10 again, plus I'm taking this 12 later. I'll consider this x by 10 again, plus here when you bring this 2 inside, this is going to be 2x by 10. I'm not cancelling it because everywhere 10 is there. It's better to keep that 10 as such. And now I'll write the constant terms. Constant terms here is 12, plus here it is 1, and this 2 goes in here as 2 equals x. Now when you solve for this, this is 10 is common here. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 more, 5. So this is nothing but 5x. Plus this is again 15. 12 plus 1 plus 2 is nothing but 15 equals your x. So 15 you keep it here. X minus this is, I can cancel this, is going to be 2, x by 2. So x minus x by 2 is again x by 2. So x 15 equals x by 2. Or I can say x is equal to 30. So they're asking only for the total number of toys, which is nothing but your 30. That's the answer. Okay. Next, we'll go to the next problem. A class average mark in an exam is 70. The average of students who scored below 60 is 50. So there are too many numbers here. Maybe a big confusion, like which is a number, which is a quantity, or which is a score. So we'll write one by one. The average mark of the class is given as 70. So let me take, let me take this 70 as the average of the total class. All right, let me write this. The class average is given as 70. Okay. And then the average of the students who scored below 60. So we'll consider the one which is below 60 is given as average is 50. So all this, whatever we are writing, is nothing but the average. You have to be careful about that because sometimes there may be a confusion like is average or total. So that confusion should never come. Average and the total are completely different. So you have to be careful about that. Many people make a mistake of taking average as a total and they start doing it. So please write it in a proper way. This is only average. And the other one is given as average students who score 60 or more. That is 60 or more is 75. So all the three are nothing but the average. Let us consider this in terms of quantity, because whenever you do any kind of arithmetic operation, it has to be converted as quantity and then you have to do it. So if the total number of students in this class is 20, so it is given that the total number of students are 20. So total students, when I consider, is given here is 20. This is not mentioned. I'll consider this as x. Below average is x. So our average is nothing but 20 minus x, because overall students should be only 20. So I'm taking this as x and the other one as 20 minus x. So these are the three values we have here. And now you have to solve this. The question is how many students scored below 60. So you have to find out this particular value. What is x equal to, right? So what we'll do here is we will take these total below 60, then 50 is the average and the number of students are x. So 50x forms the total score of total marks of the students who got less than 60. Similarly, when you consider the total mark of above 60, that's nothing but 75 into 20 minus x, because this into the quantity. The quantity here we are taken as 20 minus x into 75 average. And this is going to be overall score. Overall score when you consider the total average into the quantity. But I don't have to write any x or y here. We'll write directly as 20 because that's what is given there. And now you solve for it. So 50x plus 75 into 20 minus 75x equals 70 into 20. Don't do in between calculations because sometimes they might get cancelled. So I don't have to do that. So what I'll do is, this is negative, so let me take it to the other side and bring that part here. So 75 into 20, the second term I'm writing here, and bring this one here. 70 into 20 equals, take this part here, it's going to be 75x minus 50x, because I'm bringing this 50x also to this side. So when you take 20 as common, this is 75 minus 70, and this side is going to be how much? 25x. So this is again 5. So 20 into 5 equals 25x. Or I can say this is 100. 100 by 25 is nothing but 4. So here x is 4. Okay, so that's what you have to find out. If x is 4, that means here there are 4 students, and therefore he is going to 16. There is another way of solving this problem, that is called alligation method. When you solve using alligation method, this is much simpler than this. So I will use this another color for this, so that I can show here itself what is alligation method. It's very, very simple. So what I can do here is, you write down the two values, not the total average, but the two values which is given here. That is, one is below 50 and 60, and the other one is greater or equal to 60. So below 50, I below 60, that is, the average is given as 50. This is for below 60. Similarly, above 60 or above or equal to 60 is given as 75. So write down these two values, and the balanced is what is nothing but the total class average. So total class average, always write it here. So you are writing the smaller value one side and the larger value the other side, and in between is the overall average of the class. Remember one thing, overall average of the class will always fall between the lower and the higher. It cannot cross this. And take the difference of these two and write it here. That is nothing but 20. Take the difference of these two and write it here. That is 25. 5. 5. So what's the ratio here? The ratio here is 1 is to 4. So this is the ratio of your students. So 50, that is nothing but below 60. So this is, if this is 1, this is going to be 4. So we can take it as, if this is x, this is going to be 4x. When you add these two, is going to be 5x, and this 5x is what is given as 20, therefore x is equal to 4. Or I can say directly, instead of writing all this, you can just say that when this ratio is 1 is to 4 and the total number of students. So here, let me write it here because space is very less. So the ratio of these two numbers are 1 is to 4 and the total is 20. So total is 20 means, you know what should be there. 4 is a multiple here. So this is going to be 4, this is going to be 16, and this is 20. Okay, so that's it. So this comes in one step, but the thing is, it takes time to understand. So allocation method has to be seen in mixtures and solutions. So there we'll see that, and that can be applied here. Next. This evaluate this. I don't think it's going to be tough because it's very, very simple. As we are not having this word problem here, it is like almost solving it directly. So 1 minus, I'm sorry, I'll change the color. 1 minus 1 by 10 is one number. 1 minus 1 by 11, or 1 minus 1 by 12, and so on. You keep doing it till this one, 1 minus 1 by 99, and then the next number is 1 minus 1 by 100. So when you simplify this, this comes here as 10. 10 minus 1 is 9, so this is going to be 9 by 10. The next term will be, this is 11. 11 minus 1 is 10 by 11. So you can say the next one directly, like it's going to be 11 by 12, and so on. And the last you're going to get, this is 99 minus 1 is 98 by 99 into this is 99 by 100. So you can see that every first term denominator and the second term numerator are same, so they get cancelled. So you keep cancelling all this. This also will get cancelled with this one. Similarly, this will cancel with the previous one. It's cancelled, and the final answer what you have is 9 by 100. That's it. Okay, it's like a sequence. So you have to see that and then cancel accordingly and get the answers. Thank you. Next one. It takes about 3 hours to travel down a river from point A to point B and 5 hours to travel up the river from point B to A. How long would it take the same boat to go from A to B in still water? So this is again, you can see the boat and stream problem. You have to first have this idea of what is boat and stream problem. In boat and stream, we always consider that there is a river and there is a boat in that, and the boat is going. The river, the river will be always flowing, like it will have some movement. If suppose the boat is also moving in the same direction, you know that the boat will move faster. It is almost like the mountain. When you come down, you're going to be faster. So we say when you're coming down, it's going to be faster. When you go up, it's going to be slower. So I always consider this way, like downstream speed. We call this as a downstream. When it is faster, we call that as a downstream speed, right? So this is downstream speed, which is nothing but addition of the boat's speed plus a current speed. So this we call as a current speed and this boat speed. Okay. So we consider this as a downstream speed, means the boat is moving with his own speed. In addition to that, the current, that is the river water, also is flowing in the same direction. So it is going to increase the speed of the boat because it is moving in the same direction. So we call this, normally we represent this by ds, downstream speed, which is equal to b plus c. Similarly, when you go for up, when I say up, that means this direction changes to this way. So you can see that it is against the current flow, so therefore the speed reduces. So upstream speed, we call that as the upstream speed, which is nothing but b minus c. Normally we consider boat speed is greater compared to the current speed. Okay, these are the two formulae we have. And here it's given that it takes 3 hours to travel down a river. So you know that down a river is nothing but b plus c. The time taken is 3 hours from point A to B. And 5 hours up the river. Up the river is upstream speed. So b minus c, it takes 5 hours. Remember, this is only hours, so we can't just say equal to this. So what you can do is, that speed is equal, or distance is equal to speed into 10. Consider this formula. So as usual, what we had done earlier, I'm going to consider some distance here because it goes from A to B and returns from B to A. So it is the same distance for both the downstream as well as upstream. So what I'm going to do here is, we are going to consider some distance. The distance, again, as we had done other problems, here also we are going to consider these two values, 3 and 5, take the LCM of the two. So LCM of the 3 and 5 is nothing but 15. So let me consider the distance traveled is 15. That is, A to B distance is 15. Okay, so if the distance is 15, the speed of the boat into the number of hours. So we can say that b plus c, that is the speed of the boat, into the number of hours taken is nothing but 15, right? I'm just taking speed into time equal to distance. This is it. So I'm taking this as 15. Similarly, the second statement, when you see speed of the boat into the time, that is nothing but 5 equals 15. In both the cases 15 because they both are equal. And now you can consider this, when you bring this 3 this side, this is going to be b plus c equals 5. Similarly here, b minus c equals 3. Solve this. You have two equations and two variables. You can easily solve it. When you add these two, you're going to get 2b equals 8, or you can say b equals 4. And if the b equals 4, c should be 1. So that's a speed. Was the question asked is, how long would it take for the same boat to go from A to B in still water? When I say still water, that means the water is not moving. That means we are considering only the boat speed. So when you consider only the boat speed is 4, and you know the distance. The boat speed is 4 and the distance is 15. That is what we have assumed. So how long it's going to take? The time is nothing but distance by speed, which is nothing but 15 by 4. So what is 15 by 4? 3.75. And this is again, we can say 3.75 hours And you should remember one thing, sometime what happens is you will be given in terms of minutes and hours. So we can say 3.75 is nothing but 3 hours, and this 75.75 you have to multiply into 60, which is nothing but 45 minutes. This is three fourth of the hour is nothing but 45 minutes. That's your answer. Next. A father said his son, I was as old as you are at present at the time of your birth. If the father's age is, there's something missing here. The father's age is 38. The son's age 5 years back was what? So father's age and son's age. Okay then. So here what I do is a like a age problem, which you would have done in the problems on ages topic in, under that. So again we'll redo this. So let me consider first father's age and the son's age. We will have to consider two different periods. One is past and the other one is present. Okay. So let me consider, because he's comparing the age of the son. So let me take this age of the son as X. Present age of the son is X. The given sentence is, I was as old as you are at present. That is X. At the age of your birth. So I was X year old when you were born. At the age of your birth means when the son was born, his age was 0. At that time, father's age was X. Okay. If the father's age is 38 now, so that means this is going to be 38. Right? So you have this equation. I know the difference of the age is always same. It never changes. Like you and your brother or somebody is, so your brother or sister, if you have who's 2 years elder to you, even after 40 years, he will be 2 years elder to you. So we can always consider the difference of the two is going to be same. So I can say X minus 0 will be same as 38 minus X. So you solve it, 2X equals 38, or I can say X equals 19. So this age is 19. And the question has a son age 5 years back. So if it is 5 years back, if you had to calculate 19 minus 5, which is equal to 14, and that's your answer. Right? So with this, we are going to complete this. I hope so this is very clear, and whatever I have solved is a simple problem. In the similar way, you have some complicated problems. As this is the first class, I have taken all simple problems. In the next class, when we see, we will try to do some complicated sentences, how to convert that and write it in the form of an equation and then solving. So there are two things involved. One is a conversion, the second is the solving. If the conversion is not done properly, even though you're very good in solving, you may not get the right answer. So the very most important thing is to convert and write it in the form of an equation. Thank you.